Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. This is actually the second one I'm recording this evening. I don't normally get the opportunity to do that, but I had a bumper arrival in the post today. After a couple of weeks of waiting, I received not only my Toon version of Sphinx, the Cell version, but also something again I swore I'd never buy, because I try not to do repaints if I can help it. But I just couldn't resist in this case because I'd never had a version of this character. And obviously you've already clicked on the video, so you know what it's going to be, but if you're in any doubt, this guy at the back should give you another clue. He's there for comparison purposes with this fella. The repaint, the Nemesis Prime version of the TE-01 mould, TE-01B, OP leader, and yeah, Nemesis Prime, or Scourge I believe. I swore I was never going to get this, but it just looked too good. And I'll just swing it around and you can see on the back. Now, whereas the TE-01 mould is very Toon accurate, doesn't have a lot of unnecessary colouring or insignias on it, this is a lot closer to the Masterpiece version. They've pretty much just used the Masterpiece as inspiration for the deco, obviously on their updated mould. Anyway, without further ado, let's get him out of the box. Excuse me, I don't have a lot of room to work with here. Someday I might get a proper setup for doing these videos, but at the moment this is what I'm with. Here he comes in his styrofoam packaging. Oh, those instructions have seen better days. That's a bit upsetting already, they're pretty crumpled. Well, as long as the figure's not in that state, I don't really care, so let's have a look. Ugh. Bit bowed. Okay, moment of truth. What do we got? Nope, it looks okay. Let's see what we can see. Let's change that. I'm going to move this camera up a little bit so that you can get it in full view. There we go. Looking pretty sweet there in his box. What have we got here? Yeah, it's the alternate head. Oh look, they've finally seen sense, and they've stored it separately to the screwdriver. When they did the TE-01 mould, the original, they put it in the bag with the alternate head in the bag with the screwdriver, and a lot of them got damaged, just scraped. So I'm glad they've actually put them in two separate bags there. I'll put that to one side because I'm not going to swap it over at the moment. What else do we get? Oh, we have a red Energon axe, which looks pretty sweet. Again, it's identical to the orange one that came with the original mould, or the original deco, and yeah, it's just in Nemesis colours. We also get his blaster, which I think, yeah, it's a darker colour, so it's actually probably more like the colour rifle I would associate with Prime. I always thought the one that came with TE-01 was perhaps a little bit too light, a bit too grey. It's kind of too on the nose Toon, whereas the things that were black in the Toon often appeared grey. But even in the Toon, Prime's rifle was never really that light. So this would have been a better colour for Prime's rifle. You could swap it out, I guess. You know, it wouldn't make much difference. But the main difference with this is that whereas Prime's rifle has an orange LED, this has a red one. It's quite a strong one as well. I'll put that on my hand so you can see, even on the figure there, it's pretty strong. But yeah, it's the only real difference that I can see. I won't get it out, but in the box there's the trailer hitch for the alt mode, which will let it hook up to MP10's trailer. Now let's get the figure out and have a look at that in all of its glory. Oh, Squeaky. Here we go. Okay, so I'll just clean it up a moment because a couple of the panels are loose around the back. Let's put him down, put his toes flush, and then let's see what we're dealing with. Oh, there you go. Let's get these antennae straightened as well. That is, yeah. Let's just adjust the camera a bit now that he's out of the box. Doesn't need to be quite that high. That is pretty damn sweet, if I do say so myself. I am slightly in love with that deco. I think it's brilliant. That looks a lot better than I ever thought it was going to. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I just think the teal works really well with it. It's not quite uniform now. I mean, it's strange because obviously when the original TE-01 was announced, it also had translucent pieces there. It had translucent yellow pieces, and then they changed it to be painted. This one, for some reason, even though the teal arm segments are painted, and obviously the runner lights and everything, they elected to go for the translucent teal crotch pieces, which is a bit strange. I don't know, I think I would have preferred it if it was all painted, but it's a minor nitpick, to be honest. As I said, they've gone with a lot of the stuff that is inspired by the masterpiece version of Nemesis Prime. So you've got the silver deco on here, whereas you don't have that on Prime, unlike some of the other versions of the figure. You have the teal arrows, whereas the yellow arrows on Prime's arms that you find in some versions of the character are not there. Like they were not in the toon, so they were in the original proto photos, but they took them off. And you have the silver outline around the windows, and I think that's pretty much everything. One thing I do know you have actually in the alt mode, unlike Optimus Prime, the original version, this has the silver stripe in cab mode. As you can see, it's visible on the backs of his arms there. It's not actually as visible as it is on some other figures, or other versions of the character where it's all over the back. But that's just due to the way it transforms. But yeah, I mean, this looks, honestly, I thought I was going to be a little bit underwhelmed with this when I got it, and think of it like, well, I've spent another 90 quid on an identical figure that really I didn't need to get. It's just a bit of an impulse buy. But no, I'm really glad I picked this up now. I mean, this just looks superb. I mean, these colours really work well. Even the head sculpt. I mean, I've got the original head sculpt on here, which came under a lot of criticism when it was first revealed. But this just works. It works a lot better in these colours. If I can bring it forward and see if it will focus at this range, probably not. It's not ideal. I probably should move Prime out of the foreground or something. As I say, not the best setup, but hopefully you can get a rough idea. There you go. That's focused now. That is a lot better with these colours. The red eyes really pop. The silver works a lot better than the light grey they used on Prime. I mean, the grey they used was way too light on Prime anyway. But yeah, it just works with this kind of charcoal grey black deco and the red. It just looks wonderful. I mean, even the red windows here look great. If we just pop these open, we've still got the matrix chamber, and annoyingly, I think I left my spudger somewhere else. Let me just check. Yeah, here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm going to try and do this without on camera. There we go. Pop that up, and the matrix chamber on this one looks just as good as it does on the original release. And you can see in there, it's got the red matrix, which probably looks pretty sweet when you illuminate it with that. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really nice looking bit of kit, really. It just, I'm a little bit lost for words. I was not expecting to like it as much as this, but I think it's a fantastic looking figure. Really works well with these colours. This is going to look great on my underrepresented Decepticon shelves. Obviously there are a lot more Autobots than there are cons, especially the Season 3 ones, and I've got a lot more movie Autobots than Decepticons, so I'm probably going to put this fella with my movie cons, have him as a sort of counterpart to someone like Nemesis Prime, Ultra Magnus. Yeah, I mean, this is really good. I mean, I'm just going to do a quick run through. I'm not going to transform it because I've actually never transformed this mould. I didn't want to do it with Optimus. I just wanted it for a display piece for the shelf in bot mode. But I will probably transform this just because I can. I'm not as worried about transforming this as I was the original. Now that I've seen a lot of people do it, I think this also looks better in cab mode. But yeah, there are apparently some mould improvements, so I just want to check them out. So I'm told it's got more detents. Yeah, it's about 5, where I think the original was 4. I guess that allows for slightly more granular posing. I don't know, it'll make that much difference in everyday life. Out to the side, it can go all the way out. It's reasonably stiff, not completely, but not too bad. I mean, I'm not generally shaking my figures around anyway. The knees apparently have more ratchets in them, so I'm told, or so I'm led to believe. These have the nylon ratchets in them. It's weird that they, obviously the original deco for the Prime, the Optimus Prime, had the silver, and when they re-released it, they used blue nylon. So it's a bit weird that they've used grey nylon here instead of black, which would have blended better with the backs of the legs. But I don't know. It looks okay to differentiate it between the legs and that. I mean, they are his knees after all, but it's just a weird design choice, that, I think. Other than that, I don't think... I heard rumour that maybe there were more detents on the arms, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 maybe? 12 from level to level. How many are there on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, wow, there are 4 more. So actually, yes, that is true. There are 4 more, and that should allow for much more nuanced poses. Like, you can get to that position there, whereas with the original mould, you had to kind of get it halfway between the ratchet teeth to kind of get those poses. So that is an improvement. I mean, the arms aren't as tight. I can see that already. They're a bit looser, but that's a definite improvement in articulation. The chest here, sorry, not the chest, the waist rotation is a bit looser than the original. It just feels looser. Let's just try those legs a moment and see how many detents we get. 1, 2, 3, 4 at a push. So I didn't want to force it then. But yeah, so you get definitely more detents. You've got 1 more on the legs, and 4 more on the arms. That's a pretty big difference. Mainly the arms, actually. The legs not so much. I know the V2 of this, or the second issue, I don't know if it was really a V2, or the one with the nylon knees, that did have 5 detents on the legs. I don't remember if it had greater number of teeth on the arms, or whether that's a new thing for this version of the mould. But in any case, that's what you get for being an early adopter. I got one of the V1s, I didn't get the extra head, and I got slightly worse range of motion. To be honest, I've got him posed in that fairly static pose in my D-Tolf. It doesn't really need a huge range of motion for that. I mean, there might come a day when I wish it had a bit better if I'm trying to do some photography or whatever and I want to pull off better pictures or better poses, but for now, to be honest, it does me fine. Although it would be nice to have the extra range of motion as an option. The head's pretty much the same on a ball and swivel. Sorry, not on a ball joint, it's on a swivel. It's got a reasonable range of motion. Can look down a little bit. Look down more with the original head than he can with the new head because of the size of the faceplate and the head in general. I think I'm probably going to stick with this original head just because it looks better than it did on the original deco, and also because it will differentiate him from Optimus. So Nemesis can have this other face. Oh yeah, I had a problem with the toe on my original one. It's very loose. Now that isn't, which is nice. So yeah, that's another improvement. I mean, it still wiggles a bit there, but if I can show you on this one is just, I see, really loose and floppy. Very loose and floppy, in fact. Flops around like that. That toe doesn't. That one really does. I remember that was an issue with pretty much the first batch, I think. But yeah, you can see the waist rotation is a lot stiffer. I can't really move it without putting force, whereas the other one moves fairly freely on Nemesis. I mean, these are all really minor things. I am nitpicking a lot. It's just my initial observation, and I don't really think it makes a huge difference. Like, I'm not spitting chips that I've got this version, or this older version of the original deco. But I am very happy to have this this figure, and I think what I'll do, let's see, the gun was never really held all that well on this mould. Try and get it in there. Actually, it seems to hold the gun slightly better, which is nice. And I think what I'll probably end up doing as well, if I can remember how you do the arms straight off, how easy it is to do. That opens up like that. That goes in like that. If I've done that right, probably not. Is it going that way or the other way? No, it must be the other way. Get in there. Go on. Will you close up, please? You're not going to, are you? No. Well, I've obviously not put that in quite right. I was just going to have a quick look at how it looked with the axe on, but I don't want to mess around with it too much, to be honest. I'm not that desperate to see it. Maybe I'll put it in this way. Does it work this way? It just shows how little I've messed around with my original figure, because I don't really remember how you do anything on it. But no, I don't know why this is not going. Maybe the thumb needs to go on the outside. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that goes like that. Yeah, there you go. Thumb was in the wrong position. Anyway, so then you can get this piece here, clip it on. There we go. We've got Nemesis fully armed up with his ion blaster and his energon axe, looking pretty sweet. And yeah, you can get a better range of motion across there with this than you could with the other one. That looks pretty damn good to me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that was useful for people. I probably covered a lot of it with my arms as I was leaning over, to be honest. But it's not intended as an instructional transformation video or anything like that. It's just my initial unboxing reactions to something I didn't think, well, something I thought was probably going to give me a bit of buyer's remorse. As it is, it hasn't at all. I think it looks great, and I'm gonna dig out a con insignia or faction symbol for his shoulder there. Get him all labelled up, posed in the Detolf next to Hydra and Quietus, I think. Yeah, if you are on the fence about picking this up, you know, maybe you already own that version of the mould. You just don't really, like me, you don't buy repaints. if you liked the mould, I'd say this is definitely a better version of it from just the initial handling. I mean, it's obviously not as iconic as the Optimus Prime deco, but Nemesis Prime does look pretty cool, and I think certain things about it work better. They've definitely refined the engineering, so much so that I'm going to have a crack at transforming it off camera. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I'm really glad I picked it up now, and I would heartily encourage anyone else who is on the fence to do the same. I might do a part 2 of this once I've transformed it, just, you know, and comfortable. I might do a part 2 transforming it, or at least showing it off in truck mode, so you can see what it looks like when it's transformed with the more G1 style silver stripe, etc. But I don't know. I don't plan to pick up a KO Nemesis trailer or anything for it, because I don't keep things in alt mode enough for that. But it would look pretty sweet with a black trailer, I think. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about this, and it's yeah, off to the detail for you. Anyway, thanks for looking, and I'll catch you again next time.